Hello everyone, my name is Alan. Thank you for joining me today. This is Imminence, God-fearing man. I hate long intros. I expect you do too. Let's get into it.
We've been looking for God in the silence. So let me in. From the depths of a blackened horizon. My sweet redemption. Twist the night. The fear that controls us. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like. It hurts like hell, but it feels like.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there for now. Very ominous intro. I remember seeing a sword in ice, as well as very frigid landscape. It seems like he's also hit a video of him superimposed onto some ice, which automatically, the imagery alone suggests that he feels stuck in this cold prison, basically. Right? The opening line, I've been looking for God in the silence to let me in from the depths of a blackened horizon, my sweet redemption. Twist the knife, the fear that controls us. Right, so maybe the ice is the fear. Interesting. And it seemed very closed off, very vulnerable and introspective at first. And then when the percussive sound started with his violin playing, I feel like that set the tone for it seems like pleading, but at the same time it's with a purpose, because he wants to escape, but he also wants to embrace. All right, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. Let's let it continue.
I hide behind the walls, 'cause I don't wanna see the pain inside the truth that brings me to my knees. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like nothing is sacred. In a heart full of hatred, I see redemption. I've been looking for God in the silence. So let me in. From the depths of a blackened horizon. I don't need to know the answer to my woes, but I'm listening to learn. Wait for forgiveness and taste the night. Taste the night.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. This man is skilled. I have so many questions about him. Because I'm also a string player myself. I'm sort of a defect cellist, but so it seems like he very clearly states he's hiding behind the walls because he doesn't want to see the pain inside the truth that brings him to his knees. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like nothing is sacred in a heart full of hatred. So I'm trying to understand the emotional state that these lines are coming from. Because obviously there's some form of resistance that he doesn't want to look at its darkness, right? He's avoiding it, but he also wants to heal from it. But it's interesting that it says he's been looking for God in the silence, right? So it's like he's looking for an external force to save him. Maybe. That could be one side of his perspective. That he's looking for God to, like, please save me. I don't want to have to deal with this shit. But he also realizes that he can't escape by running away. So it's almost like he doesn't know knows what to do, right? Well, the title says God-fearing man. So I go so far to assume that he... Let's say that he is a Christian. All right? It's a very controversial question to ask. Should you embrace the darkness or should you pray it all away, right? I mean, I have my own views on this, but this is a reaction video, so I'm going to keep it focused around the music. He's alternating between being vulnerable, but also being very eager to overcome what this is. But also in that tension, that tension just feeds on itself and creates more tension. So he wants to let go, but I think he also realizes that by his own wanting to let go, he traps himself further. Because he says, I've been looking for God in the silence. So it's like he wants out, but he doesn't want to acknowledge or give power to what he wants to be let out from. So it's like he wants to be let out from being a prisoner of his own mind. Let's keep it going. Seems like a good place to stop it for the second section. What I'm getting is that he wants to be set free by some kind of external force. Please relieve me of my suffering. I'll do whatever it takes. Just get rid of this. Maybe it's obvious, but I'm very opinionated and passionate about this. I'm not going to explicitly say whether I agree or, well, okay. I disagree. Um, we can get into my own, in another video, I can get into my own trajectory I've had with spirituality and religion and the shortcomings that come from seeking salvation from without, that you can overcome any and all obstacles from within. That's my belief, and I'm very passionate about that. I was a Christian for a long time, and then I saw how it was just a hypocritical structure for control. That being said, musically, his screams are phenomenal. Now, the fact that he also is a violinist who's an incredible vocalist as well. This also goes to show how I feel like there is a very interesting dichotomy going on with tradition, right? In this case, I'll say ideologically, right? Religion on the one hand, of like, please, like, save me. I need a savior. Versus wanting to break free and wanting to liberate yourself. Musically, that translates to the violin, but yet also in the context of metal. So there's a lot of conflict going on, I sense. And the chorus was pretty much a repeat of the first chorus lyrically. He says, in the second verse, he says, I don't want to go before I reach the end of all good things to come. Have mercy on my soul, right? In a heart full, it hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven, right? You've been looking for God in the silence to let me in from... So he says, beg for forgiveness and twist the knife. So is that what? He's just accepting his penance? Just saying, all right, look, God, please liberate me from this. I'll do whatever it takes. But that's the it's a very interesting thing when you have, and this is all an assumption, but a religious man or band, or I don't know what the theological persuasions of the other members are, but when you have a religious man in the context of really, really, really heavy music like this, right? Because heaviness resonates with defiance, liberation, breaking free, right? But he's saying he wants to break free via submission almost, right? Beg for forgiveness. Please, God, have mercy on my soul. Forgive me. A lot of conflict going on. I really appreciate how the sound is balanced, but there's also, I guess I could say, formulaic. And I know that these guys maybe they've gotten some criticism in the past that also has said they've been very formulaic. But then again, I guess a lot of songs are, right? I don't listen to pop. What sort of garbage are is our mainstream artists putting out? I don't know. I'd much rather take this than mainstream pop, or just music that makes you think, that's provoking, that goes against the norm. And I feel like this music does a great job of doing that, because it's a catchy, memorable melody in the voice, but yet it's also has a very, very, very somber, melancholic, and a bit aggressively yearning of a backdrop as well. So it's balanced, but it's balanced in its conflict, and there's a bittersweet component to that. All right, let's let it play out to the end.
Twist the night, the
Okay. That ending was heavy. Um, so I think the last verse was really a revelation, right? Because he's talking about the fear that is controlling, right? Of doing what it takes to escape the fear. In this case, he's coming at it as from the lens of I need salvation from an external source. The last lines when he says, "Show me the face, a new dawn will break. I won't be afraid. I am the weight of the world that has fallen astray." Almost like a Christ-like um, declaration, saying that he'll be able to take it. He's almost. I'm conflicted because I don't know whether this is a justification for a neo-redemptionist view as it relates to suffering, or if he's really saying, look, I'm going to be the beacon of authenticity in this world full of fakery. Right? I don't know. And I hate that I don't know. Because I feel like there's raw emotion in this. But personally, I wasn't like, there were a couple moments like when the bassist took out the bow, and when some of the heavy drops came. Yeah, musically, it was on paper, it was a very, very convincing, a very provocative sensation. But emotionally, I feel like there's a bit of a wall. And he said at the beginning, he hides behind the walls because he doesn't want to see. And I feel like he's trying through his music to let out and to show and express how he feels. But I think, what is his name? Eddie? I want to know, what is it that's causing him so much angst? Right? Is it life in general? Is it uncertainty? Is it inner conflict? Like, what is it? Because I feel like there's it's what I get from this song is a lot of, man, I don't know what to do. Everything's unknown. There's a lot of fear that I'm feeling. What do I do next? God, please show me the way, because I sure as heck don't know what to do. I need this fear to be taken away. And that lens can provide, that story can provide a lot of powerful emotion to express musically. But I feel like what would really be the cherry on top for me is the personal vulnerability. Like, what's going on in his life that elicits such a powerful and raw emotion? I feel like there's still a bit of a guard there. Now, right, are these guys Swedish? I think, right? From what I see, they might be. I think they're Swedish. So maybe English isn't his native language. So I can let that slide, because, if I were to write lyrics in Spanish or French, I don't really speak any other language. But I think it's powerful music, and I really respect it, and I admire it, and it's effective. But if there's one thing that I would want more, it's the vulnerability. Because I feel like it's like he portrays a wanting to be vulnerable, but maybe it's just a wanting to be vulnerable with God or something like that. That he wants to be liberated. But what's the source of the angst? That's my question. What's the source of the angst? I don't know. Maybe in other songs of theirs, he goes to show that. I don't know. But for now, I'll leave that here. This has been a raw, unfiltered, genuine reaction. I thank you for being here. As always, remember to, if you like the video, feel free to hit a like. My channel is going to have a lot of interesting content on it from my own musical improvisations and performances, right? I'm a cellist and composer. I have 2 degrees in cello performance. But I'm sort of breaking out of the classical genre. I'm also really passionate in gaming, spirituality, and esoterica. I channel as well. I have a Patreon page. Link for that will be in the description. Without any rambling on excessively, just want to thank you for being here again. This was Imminence, God-Fearing Man, official video. It was definitely provocative for me, which all good art should be, so I respect it thoroughly and profoundly for that. Thank you, and I'll see you in another video. All right? Take care. Peace. Have a great day.